All right. Okay. All right. I think everything's set up. Shout out to the people who's already coming in right now, taking the time out of their morning, technically, to listen to me break down the latest hip hop and gaming news. Of course, we're getting into another episode, so this will be just a plethora of topics ranging from hip hop, Jack Harlow, all the way to gaming, and of course the Star Wars game that just came out. Hold up, let me make sure to turn this down right quick. Who's this at? 22. Okay, yeah, I think that's good enough. Okay, so yeah, shout out to the people I have on all the platforms I'm streaming on right now. I see people over at Kick, I see people over at YouTube, people are still coming in over at Wisdom. I appreciate all y'all for taking the time out of your morning to listen to me break down the latest hip-hop and gaming news. As always, make sure to hit that follow button to be notified when I go live, and click my Linktree in my bio, as it gives you links to all my social medias and whatever platform you listen to podcasts on. With that being said, let's get into the show. All right, so if anybody's new, basically what's going to happen is I'm going to be going through the show like I usually do, but then I'm going to be taking breaks in between segments to pull up the next topic. So the live edition is basically you hear me talk throughout those breaks, and after the fact, when I put it on my my podcast platforms, you would just hear the edits, and I'll be going from topic to topic. So anyways, hopefully I got that cleared up. Let me see, do we have anything else? Let's play this. Yeah, let's play that one. Okay, let me pull up my intro. Let me see. I think this one's still going well. Okay, yeah. Put that right there. I think we do have another one. How's that going? Yeah, that's going well. All right, cool. For my people over at Kick, I will have the chat open. So if y'all want to comment, I'll definitely be available to answer any questions y'all have about any topic I cover. What else? That's pretty much it. Hold on, let me make sure to go over, make sure to stream. I gotta make sure to stream, because I don't want to start and the stream be choppy. That's always my main concern. Okay, I was listening to it right quick. I think that'll be good. Okay. All right. Let me see. Okay. So now I have the Wisdom tab back open. As always, for the people over at Wisdom, and this goes for all my platforms I'm streaming on, make sure to download the Wisdom app, because that's the easiest way to be implemented into the podcast, because Wisdom gives you the easiest way to join in as a guest. We can go back and forth. You can give your perspective, I can give mine, and then hey, you may end up in the episode. So anyways, yeah, let's get into it. Okay, I'm gonna play my song. I have a little intro song. I gotta get in character, you know what I'm saying? Nah, I'm joking. All right, let me see. Okay, cool. Okay, make sure that's not too loud. I think that's good. Okay, let's turn it down like 35. Okay. Okay, and also for the people listening on Wisdom, you won't be able to hear some of the audio I play from my laptop, because of course I'm streaming from my phone on Wisdom. So Yeah. But after the fact, if you want to listen to it with the audio elements, it will be uploaded to all podcast platforms, whatever platform you listen to podcasts on. And click my link tree in my bio it'll give you a direct link to that. All right, let's get straight into it. What's going on, internet? Analytic here, aka Dreams, and I'd like to welcome you to mine, which I call the Notorious Mass Effect podcast. I am your hip-hop and gaming news source with a little bit of R&B mixed in. For episode 121, we're going to be getting into the intricacies, just the complex, very hard to understand topic that is AI. And by very hard to understand, I mean very hard to understand, because at this point, you know how they say sky's the limit? Well, at this point, AI has implemented so many different scenarios where one could take it that we don't even know what's going to happen next. The evolution of AI has gotten to a scary point where literal artists are coming out and saying this is flagrant as far as copyright material. And what am I saying right now? You probably are not putting two and two together, but let me just say that this is titled The Rise of the AI Ghostwriters. And no, I'm not talking about Allen Iverson. I'm talking about AI technology. I don't know what that was. Chatbot. GPT-4? GPT-4. I don't know why I was blanking on the name. But anyways, so yeah, this is titled The Rise of AI Ghostwriters for a reason. All of these ghostwriters are coming out of the woodworks to give us some of our greatest material from artists that are currently not putting out music. So how's that happening? Well, in this episode, I'm gonna break it all down. But before that, make sure to click my link tree in my bio to access my social medias. Hold up. Last time I did this, not the episode before, but the episode before that one, I did this. So basically, y'all want to update. Last time y'all killed me because I didn't give an update. And I think 119. Yeah, this is 121. Yeah, so 119, I forgot to give an update. So basically, a pretty significant update. We're reaching 400,000 total downloads in just 2 months of Red Circle. So hold up, let me play my little drop. I got my applause button on deck for y'all. This is for y'all. This is not even for me, because of course there's only one of me. So this accomplishment, I do not take it for granted at all. So let me play a little. There we go. So basically, I just want to say thank you to everybody who's supporting and helping affect the masses, because at the end of the day, 400,000, I don't take for granted at all. So I really appreciate everybody who's came together by either sharing the platform, playing it yourself, what else? Giving me feedback, just everything that goes into making this show has led us to this point where in just 2 months under Red Circle, we've reaching, and will probably surpass by tomorrow, 400,000 total downloads. Okay, I think that's enough applause. All right, let's get back to hold up, give me 1 second. Let me bring this back up. All right. So yeah, that's basically it for the update. As far as like weekly downloads, we definitely are surpassing 38,000, or we did surpass 38,000. Of course, it fluctuates. Right now, it currently is around 38,000. Since it's so new, like I was saying, 2 months in under Red Circle, this is my biggest audience ever. So, I'm definitely figuring out ways to keep y'all engaged in just the watch time in general, which I think, well, statistically looking at the numbers, it seems like y'all are enjoying what I'm putting out. So just expect more of that. And also I just made another channel titled Analytic Dreams Video, and so with that, It's going to be all the video elements of the content I create will be posted to that channel. So if you go to Spotify right now, and I say Spotify specifically because that's the only place I can put up video for podcasting platforms. So if you go to Spotify, type in Analytic Dreams video, you'll be able to watch all of the video content I make. So the content I make, the video element will be additional when you look up Analytic Dreams video. So the same thing that's happening here is just the video element. And the reason I made the 2 separate channels is because currently I'm under Red Circle with this channel. So I can't really post video on Spotify through Red Circle. I can through Anchor, which is why I made my second channel through Anchor. But for my first channel, it only allows audio. I mean, of course I can upload, like make another channel on Anchor and upload video, and that's specifically what I did. So for Analytic Dreams video, look that up separately. It's going to be all the content I make here, just addition of the video element. Okay, well, all that promo out of the way, let's get into the show 121, which is titled The Rise of the AI Ghostwriters. But before that, make sure to click my link tree in my bio to access my social medias and follow to keep up with my latest activities. If you want to support the show financially, click my Cash App link located towards the bottom of my link tree, as it helps the show overall. Make sure to share this podcast, rating the show 5 stars, as this helps the show reach more people so we can grow together and affect the masses. Also, for my people over at YouTube, make sure to click that bell icon. And when you click the bell icon, don't click the specialize. Click all, so you'll get all my notifications, because YouTube for some reason makes you click twice on the bell icon. So anyways, make sure to do that. And now let's get into the first topic. All right, cool. Let me see. Should I record this? Let me think. I think I want to put the episode out by probably today. So I forgot to record the intro, but that's fine, because I could just record that after. So I'm trying to think of what I want to do. I think I may stop the stream and then make another one because I'm a stream. This is gonna be like a streaming marathon, so I'm gonna be on here for a while. So yeah. Okay, let me see. Let's get into. Let me see what I want the first topic to be. Shout out to my people over at YouTube and Kick right now. I appreciate y'all hanging with me and watching the live version of the show, and especially people over at Wisdom. Let me see. I think this may be messing up. Give me 1 second. I don't know if it's messing up or not. Let me take this off. Put this up. Okay. All right. All right, let's get into the first topic. And the first topic will be, once I pull this up. I feel like we might as well just get into more AI music. Let me see. Put this up.
With 1.2 million.
Okay. Let that play out. I kind of want to get into Jack Harlow, but I don't know if I want to wait that soon. Let me see. Yeah, that's true. I'm not gonna lie, that's kind of fire. Let's do backseat. All right, cool. Let me see. I'm trying to make sure I have everything in line. Okay, I'm finna put the audio elements up. Let's see, put this up. Okay, we're gonna put this over here. So for my people watching over at YouTube and Kick, you should. I'm gonna transition this in a second. You should see the article I'm referring to. Okay, and then I'm gonna put this right here. Um. Look at this right quick. I'm trying to pull this up for y'all, so I don't want y'all to be able to have to squint at the screen. I'm not trying to mess up your eyesight. You know what I'm saying? All right, that's cool. All right, I'm gonna transition in now. Y'all should be able to see it now. Okay, cool. All right. As always, as I get into a topic, if you have a comment, just put it down in the comment section. I'll definitely either comment it, I'll respond to it after or during, depending on like how on topic it is. The rise of the AI ghostwriters has gotten out of hand because not only has Drake been accused of using ghostwriters by the notorious Meek Mill, but currently in 2023, ghostwriters are coming out of the woodworks to write their favorite Drake tracks. Now, only strengthens Meek Mandela's argument, but now that people have officially called Meek Mill washed up, nobody cares that all of these ghostwriters are coming out and using AI technology out of all of the artists in the world to mimic the GOAT, aka Drake. Now, does it surprise me that he's getting all of these people mimicking him with the use of AI technology? No. But what's also surprising is if everybody claims that the best rapper is Tupac and Jay-Z and all these other old heads, then how come people aren't using these AI or this AI to put out more music from them? I know what you're saying. Oh, Tupac's passed away. Oh, Notorious B.I.G's passed away. Well, you probably don't know how this technology works because all you need is a sample of somebody's voice, which is definitely out there when you're talking about Tupac and Notorious B.I.G. And then you can make your own track that literally sounds like them. So what I'm thinking is everybody is subconsciously showing us that they think Drake is the best artist in the hip hop game, because if you're gonna use all of these lyrics and different vocal tones, and then when you go to the AI generator, out of all the artists in the world, you keep using Drake, then what does that really say about how they view the hip hop landscape? Now, of course, if you've been listening to the podcast, you know that I've been a huge advocate for Drake. You know, I would call myself a stan, but I do critique Drake when it's called for. But currently, it's just an obvious display of affection as all these ghostwriters are coming out and trying to seem like the second coming of Quentin Miller, as all of these AI tracks that are AI generated from ghostwriters who I'm assuming are real people just typing in a computer using Drake's voice to cover their songs is very interesting. Because first, when it came out, of course, it was covering Kanye West, Mr. West, and everybody knows what his impact on the hip hop field is. But then it was an interesting change. It went from Kanye West to Drake, and not even just, it wasn't even comparable. Like, it was a huge swing in the Drake direction of all the ghostwriters coming together to write and try to come up with the best ghostwritten Drake track. One, I think is because of the numbers, and two, I think because of Kanye West's absence. I feel like a lot of people feel really see the buzz that you get off of making a Drake track, and they're just making a plethora of AI Drake songs for the masses. Now, that still goes back to my point of Drake just being the leaps and bounds above a lot of these artists in the hip hop field. As if somebody else generated those same numbers, guess what? More AI covers will be attributed to them. So because that is not the case, and Drake is just a runaway goat in the hip hop space, UMG, which is Universal Music Group, the people who signed Drake, like Drake's boss, Lucian Grange, came out and definitely criticized this whole wave of ghostwriters coming out and making music trying to sound like Drake, saying, quote, this is content, oh, no, so, quote, content oversupply. And then he went on to say, quote, not many people realize that AI has already been a major contributor to this content oversupply. Most of this AI content on DSPs comes from the prior generation of AI, a technology that is not trained on copyrighted IP and that produces very poor quality output with virtually no consumer appeal. Mm-mm-mm. Spoken like a true man who's losing money off of all this AI evolution. So, anyways, when the boss of Drake comes out and speaks on something, we found gold. Like, ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Like, we've hit the what they call we've hit the jackpot, basically, to put it in layman's terms. We've hit the jackpot. Even Lucian Grange is coming out speaking on this, and that's how you know it's getting serious. Because I think if people keep continuing, all the ghostwriters in the world, I mean, UMG can't sue everybody, but best believe they're gonna find one of y'all to make an example out of. Just hopefully it's not you. So, anyways, click on my Linktree in my bio. Let me know on one of my social medias. What do you think about this whole evolution in AI and everybody using AI technology to make unreleased Drake tracks, quote unquote? And what do you think the future is of using this AI technology? Okay. What was that? That was Another Time. I gotta remember to tell them that I put the track in the description. I guess they'll find out. Hopefully, I don't know. We're gonna find out. All right, let's go to the next one. What is this? Let's do this one. The Verge. Uh, um, okay, cool. But what is up with Wisdom today? Wisdom is not rocking. Usually I always have more on Wisdom, but today is like YouTube and Kick is like, no pun intended, like kicking their you know what. It's not really, yeah, I don't know what it is. People maybe sleep on the platform. Hold on, let me try to go live again. Yeah, Wisdom is really acting up today. I've never had to go live this many times. Let me see. Because I'm like verified on that platform, so I should get like, I don't want to sound like, a snob or anything, but I should get like some type of front page. All right, let me see. Let me try this again. If not, I mean, we can just keep, I mean, I am going to keep going on here, of course. But usually when I'm doing audio stuff, I try to keep Wisdom involved. Anyways, let's just keep going. Okay, let's get into another Drake track. The Battle of the Ghostwriters and UMG is a fascinating one to watch because none of your favorite artists are putting out music right now. I mean, none of them. I'm not trying to hear about Jack Harlow. I'm not trying to hear about Don Toliver, NF, Ray Shrimmered. I'm not trying to hear about any of those because compared to AI releases this year, it pales in comparison. I think that's the way you say it. Because in general, when you're able to put out music from an artist that everybody streams on a religious basis, then I think you've reached a point where the actual owner of Universal Music Group has to come out and speak on this type of activity because people are making money from an artist that they signed. They want to make money off of the artist they signed. Now you're making money off of him. You ain't signed, or you ain't have Drake sign no type of paperwork. So best believe UMG is going to come after somebody, and just hopefully it's not you. So this specific track I'm talking about is Drake's Winter's Code by, I can't even say his name. It's like LVCCI. And I'm not the feds. All I know is I looked it up. It's still on YouTube. UMG hasn't taken it down. So I don't know if they just pick and choose in their battles. I don't know what's happening. So anyways, it's still up. And they're going after TikTok user Ghostwriter 9997. Now I really sound like DJ Vlad. No, hold on, let me chill. My fault. I ain't trying to put him on blast. Basically, UMG has chosen a specific ghostwriter to go after, right? Because everybody making money off of Drake's likeness is not gonna fly with Universal Music Group, who's paying Drake literally 40 to 50 million dollars to make music for them, and you're getting it for free. Like, nah, you're not gonna get his license or his likeness for free. They're definitely suing you. So anyways, all of these tracks are very interesting. This whole lawsuit is very interesting. I think because of how dry 2023 is when it comes to hip hop, I honestly may just say that AI has taken over and may be the best thing to come out this year, because no album has made me feel like it's taken over. Ray Shrimmered for me was one of my favorite albums, and really nobody listened to it, and that's not like a factor for me as far as enjoyability, but as far as ranking, I have to keep that in consideration that it didn't have that impact that I thought it was going to have. Of course, NF had tremendous impact, selling like over 100,000 first week, and in comparison, Ray Shrimmer sold like 16K first week. It was pretty bad. It hurt my heart. It's almost like I can't compare it to LeBron, but it's like if KD came out and shot like 2 for 30. It's like we're not used to you missing like this. Like Ray Shrimmer coming out and not having that impact is definitely interesting, because they're the same duo who made everybody stand in one place like they was frozen in real life with Black Beatles. So that's pretty interesting to see. Jack Harlow came out when everybody found out it was a rap only album. I think the streams didn't really reflect the quality. I think that Jack Harlow album is one of the better albums of 2023, but as far as the streams and the sales, of course it's not going to be high because it's an all rap album. I don't know if y'all know how the charts work, but if you listen to any track in the top 10 of the charts, it has a chorus, a verse, and a chorus, a verse, and maybe another chorus in the end of the song. So Jack was just straight rapping throughout his entire album, which was phenomenal for me as a rap fan. But as far as replay value, it just wasn't that high. So I think currently AI ghostwriters are taking over 2023, and they are putting out the best music this year. And I think Universal Music Group, who signed all your all the most popular rappers, a very distinct description right there. All the most popular rappers they have signed: Drake, Kanye West, I think Justin Bieber, Taylor Swift. I think Lucian Grange literally bought Taylor Swift's whole catalog. Look up Lucian Grange buying Taylor Swift's whole catalog, and you will understand that Lucian Grange, when you think about Drake having a lot of money, buying private jets, going on yachts, and just living his life, and Future, Hendrix, and all these people, think about the people who signed them, aka Lucian Grange. Think about his bank account. I'm not pocket watching, but I think we really have to put into perspective, because a lot of these rappers be flexing when the person that they're signed to is really the ones who could be flexing. So anyways, one thing in business I've learned is that for every dollar you make, they've made 9 or 10, and just carry that with you throughout life. So anyways, that's basically it. I really wanted to get into the AI. I think I kind of got into it. Universal Music Group is definitely coming after some of y'all. They're gonna make an example out of somebody, and I definitely don't want this to happen as a content creator myself. I mean, obviously they can't come after me because I'm not the one playing music and trying to get the likeness of Drake, but they have came after me before, but that was like years past in my first channel. But now, I'm pretty good. But for y'all who's still profiting off of Drake's likeness, let's just say they're definitely gonna come after you. So anyways, hopefully you win. I'm always in the favor of the creator, and hopefully we just get to the point where we can combat these lawsuits from Universal Music Group, but only time will tell. So click my link tree in my bio. Let me know on one of my social medias. What do you think about Ghostwriters versus UMG? And also, what do you think the future is with AI technology? All right, I feel like I'm on a roll right now, so let's take this one. Let's get into one more Drake topic. The reason I'm getting to the Drake AI because I want to put these tracks out, and I love doing this. It's basically what YouTube is. I don't know if I'm giving free. Is this free game? I don't know. I mean, it depends. It's live, so if y'all, yeah, for the people tuning. Also, I do see people coming in over at Wisdom right now, so I appreciate y'all for coming in. I was a little scared at first. I was like, what's happening? But anyways, I appreciate y'all for coming through. Let me look over at YouTube. That's nice. Okay, and then Kick, of course, people still coming in over there. So for the people tuning in live, let me just tell you this. Basically, for podcasting is all about having interesting titles. And for me, one of the things I do is I take these Drake AI song titles, I put it up, and people just think it's a song, but it's really just me breaking it down. But still, it helps out on clicks. Of course, it's people who's there for me because it shows in my weekly downloads. Like I've already said, I'm around like 38,000, approaching 38,000. But also having a very clickable title does not hurt. So anyways, hopefully you can use that. Okay, let's get into Backseat. Yeah, let's get into this one. Okay, is this the one I wanted? No, it's not the one I wanted. Hold up. Let me see, put this up. Okay. Wow. It's just everything's popping up. Verizon trying to get me to subscribe and everything. Okay, cool. Can I zoom this in? All right. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we found the first miss with this Drake AI wave. Because AI Backseat, I don't know who wrote that track. Not trying to be disrespectful, but it's gonna come to a point where all of y'all who's privy to this technology does not need to be privy to this technology because y'all don't know how to make a Drake hit. And Drake makes everything sound good. So for you not to make a Drake hit is not gonna lie to you, it's pretty down bad. So anyways, this track called Backseat was one of those tracks where I've listened to it and I realized that it's just not up to par. Like it's not even around the bar. It's a very below average track, and even when with Drake covering it. So Drake and The Weeknd, one of their biggest tracks, not ever, but of course one of their biggest unreleased tracks, and it was released by AI Ghostwriter called Heart on My Sleeve, was just straight, I would say at this point, it was just straight classic because the person who came up with this wrote the track, had Drake covering it, had The Weeknd covering it. Everybody's playing the track on TikTok. Universal Music Group is extremely irate. I can't even put into words what they're about to do to whoever they could sue with this type of technology because they are not having it with people making money off of the artists that they signed likeness. So anyways, what else? What was I getting to? But yeah, that the track Drake AI Backseat is very atrocious, and that's why I say some people who are privy to the technology that helps make these AI tracks should definitely not be, as it comes with a price, and that price is learning how to actually make a good track. And for some people, they have it, and for others, they don't. So for this one, they definitely do not have it, and that's okay, because who wants to be sued by Universal Music Group over a track that's just completely garbage? So, anyways, UMG came out with a quote. Let me see if I can find that quote. Give me 1 second. Let's see if I can find that quote. Universal Music Group came out with a quote talking about the unsanctioned AI generated tracks. Like, what? Like, who uses words like that? And they said, quote, UMG's success has been in part due to embracing new technology and putting it to work for our artists, as we have been doing with our own innovation around AI for some time already. With that being said, the training of generative AI using our artists' music, in parentheses, which represents both a breach of our agreements and a violation of copyright law, end of parenthesis, as well as the availability of infringing content created with generative AI on DSPs, begs the question as to which side of history all stakeholders in the music ecosystem want to be on. The side of the artists, fans, and human creative expression, or on the side of deepfakes, fraud, denying artists their due compensation. These instances, hold on, I can't say it. These instances, hold up, I'm trying to do my Floyd Mayweather impression, not just playing. All right, I'm about to run it back. These instances demonstrate why platforms have a fundamental legal and ethical responsibility to prevent the use of their services in ways that harm artists. We are encouraged by the engagement of our platform partners on these issues, as they recognize they need to be part of the solution. Now, let me just give you the translation for that. UMG is suing whoever, and they are trying to come for every dime, nickel, and penny that they can scavenge, because they not playing with y'all. Everybody who's making these tracks and just having Drake covering it and putting out for consumption and making money off of it, yeah, nah, y'all going to jail. Not gonna lie to you. So, yeah, after that quote, they not playing with y'all, and they coming for their bread, they fettuccine, their guap. So, anyways, click my link, share my bio. Let me know on one of my social medias. What do you think about Universal Music Group just going so hard over these AI ghostwriters, and do you think that they are in the right? All right, we got through the AI section. Now let's get into the beef, because if there's one thing about hip hop, everybody loves some beef. Should I talk about Jack Harlow? I feel like I was gonna save him for another episode, because I don't know, I should probably talk about him. Hold on, yeah, let's get into the album review. I can't call him the great white hope of hip hop, because I already gave that title to NF, so I can't give it to two artists in the same year. So yeah, we got to figure that out. But anyways. All right, let me see. We have Jack Harlow drops new album. Let me see. Let's do the sales. I want to do the sales. Okay. Going from Drake to Jack Harlow. I love how everybody's critique of Jack Harlow's "Come Home, the Kids Miss You" was, it sounded too much like Drake. Like, is that a bad thing? I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping. Like, Jack Harlow was probably like, bro, how, like, who can even do what Drake does? I don't know. That man is probably confused. If I was an A&R for Jack Harlow, I would have got fired, because I didn't think that album was that bad. Like, it was bad, but it wasn't that bad. All right. Let me see. Okay. Okay, it's acting funny. Oh, here we go. Oh, why I was doing that. Hold on, give me 1 second. I'm gonna move this right quick. So for people watching, I'm gonna put this up. Okay, make sure this is. Make sure I don't have any unused tabs. Oh yeah, okay, I'm good. Cool. All right, let's run this back. All right, I should be able to see the article now. Yo, Jack Harlow doesn't even. Yeah, it's so funny. All right. Um, look at this. Shout out to the people still coming in over at Wisdom. Make sure to click my link tree in my bio to follow my social medias, and also hit the follow button on Wisdom to be notified when I go live. You know, if not, it will only break my heart a lot. So you know, you don't want that to happen. You know, you don't want that on your conscience. You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine you don't hit the follow button, and I'm just sitting down staring at a wall forever. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, all right. All right, let's keep going. Let's get into Jack Harlow finally. Oh, give me 1 second. Did this mess up? I think it messed up. Um, let's see, pull this up. Okay, yeah, I think we're good now. Did I press start recording? Okay, I didn't. Okay, cool. I don't know if I fixed that or not. Hold up. Let's get a technical issue. Um, okay. Um, okay, I think I fixed it. Hopefully I did. See, that's why I do it live, you know? Not just playing. That's not why I do it live. Anyways, all right, let's get back into it. Cause yeah. Jack Harlow came back thinking, what hasn't Drake done? Because at first, you had Come Home, The Kids Miss You, and you couldn't tell me that that man didn't look up every discography of the GOAT, aka Aubrey Graham, and just try to mimic everything that worked. So once he tried to be himself, rapping about past experiences, personal experiences that only Jack can go through, he finally gave us an amazing body of work. Now, I would hit the applause button, but we assume that Jack Harlow was going to bounce back from Come Home, The Kids Miss You. Obviously, a lot of people was wanting Jack Harlow to fall off, and you could probably understand why they would want that, as we've had a lot of rappers in his ethnic background come through and just be completely corny, trash, and straight up atrocious. Shout out to Logic. I know he's half black, but come on now. Shout out to Macklemore. Shout out to G-Eazy. I think that's it. So Jack Harlow wasn't trying to be in addition to that list, as Jackman is an album full of straight bars. Now, I once heard Funk Flex say one of the best things about a rapper. He said, "Y'all, you don't know nothing about that That's straight bars. Now, of course, the way I just said it isn't the way he said it. So let me get an actual rendition of him saying that that's straight bars. Because that's how I feel about this entire album. Oh, it's mute. Give me a second. Give me a second.
Now listen, that's called motherfucking bars, nigga. You know nothing about that.
One of the most classic, iconic lines ever spoken by a hip hop media head. As Jack Harlow really came through in this album, and it's just straight bars from start to finish. I mean, he said, forget a chorus. He said, forget a hook. He said, I'm just going to rap and y'all going to listen to it, because technically somebody listened to it, as his first week projections are around 50,000, which is definitely not high for Jack Harlow at all, as Come Home, The Kids Miss You debuted at number 3 with 113 first week sales. So 50,000 compared to 113,000. But I am going to come and cape for Jack Harlow. Pause. I think the reason for the low sales is because this man had an album full of rap songs. And that's one reason I think Drake never made an album full of rap songs. Because when you do that, I can't even say it. You're lowering, hopefully I said that right. I don't know why I can't say that word. The quality, the replay value. So you're raising the quality, but you're lowering, yeah, I'm definitely messing that word up, the replay value. As the replay value adds to your streams, and the quality is just what people say about the project. Your replay value will mean nothing if your quality is bad, as we seen with Come Home, The Kids Miss You. Those was 113,000 first week sales of everybody saying it was straight up garbage. This one is 50,000 first week sales of everybody saying this is some of Jack Harlow's best work. Now you let me know which type of public praise or public reaction Jack Harlow wanted. So anyways, with this album, I think in general, my overall consumption of it was very quick. I've listened to this album a bunch of times. You know, this is one of those type of albums you can play as you work out. It's certain songs in here like Gang Gang that you probably shouldn't just play in the whip, you know, when you're going to the club or the party or out with your friends. It's not one of them type of tracks, you know. Some people may start looking at you kind of weird, wondering why you playing those type of tracks, you know. So a lot of these tracks are just for consumption by yourself. It's not really for you to put it out to the masses at a party. But other tracks like They Don't Love It, Ambitious, It Can't Be, it's just straight up fire. I'm talking about the subject matter. I'm talking about the double, triple entendres, the way he has his vocal inflection, his cadence is very smooth in a way that when you're listening to it, it's not something that you just think is straight up corny. You actually want to continue to listen to it, because best believe me, he does have corny bars in there. Like, oh, my beard's kind of scruffy, but I like it though. Like, nobody can, like, bro, like, who cares? But the way he delivers it is in a fashion where more people will give it a chance than not. So I feel like the only reason that Jack Harlow has came through with this album is because everybody was considering him, quote unquote, washed up, and his feature on, it wasn't Drama, was it Khaled's album with was it Roddy Ricch? I forget who it was. He had a feature after his album that a lot of people disliked, and everybody was just calling him washed up from there. Like, everything he touched, they just said was washed up, which is why when Chris Brown came out with Breezy and he had a track with Jack Harlow that had an actual serviceable verse, everybody was like, man, even Chris Brown can turn around Jack Harlow to make good music. So it was to that point where everybody thought Jack Harlow was washed up. And with his new album, Jackman, I feel like he really bounced back, as this is only his third studio album. So you can't really critique it that harshly, because a lot of people have subscribed to this mantra of sophomore slump. So they were saying Jack Harlow had a sophomore slump, but his bounce back with Jackman let us know that it was a slump and that he was actually gonna bounce back. Because, you know, some artists, that could just be them. They could just have one lucky debut album and then never make anything close to that quality ever again. You know, shout out to Bryson Tiller. But anyways, in general, I want to get into the actual album because it's very interesting how it's only, how long is this out? This album's like 25 minutes long, I believe. And for it to be only 25 minutes long, I felt like he really jam-packed it with quality bars. I mean, I'm not going to go track by track. I am going to give my 3 favorite tracks from the album. So number 1 would be Common Ground, because I feel like that just kicked off the entire... I like albums where the first track lets you know the entire tone of the album. Like, I don't like tracks where it just sounds like a track listing, if that makes sense. Like, it's just, oh, it's like a DJ just mixing tracks. Like, I like albums from one artist being a cohesive body of work that slows the tempo down when needed, but if they slow it down for a little bit, speeds it back up in the next 2 tracks. Like, I like cohesion in albums, and Subject Matter is also another one of those where Common Ground really kicked off what he was trying to say. Like, he was literally saying, this is not my opinion, this is just what I see. So it's like one of those things where he's coming from his perspective, literally. Number 2 is It Can't Be, because I love when white rappers acknowledge and just confirm that they have white privilege in the world. And him just saying, it must, like, hold on, let me try to pull up these lyrics. He said, it must be my skin. I can't think of any other reason I win. Obviously, he was being a little sarcastic, but there's a little bit of truth in every comedic line. So with Jack Harlow, obviously we know the lighter skinned rappers in hip hop have the most success, as Drake, Eminem. You could bring up Jay-Z, P. Diddy, and Dr. Dre. But when we're talking about the top of the top, streaming wise, Drake and Eminem are at the top of a predominantly black sport. And why is that? Anyways, and obviously I can keep going on and on. I mean, we have LL Cool J, we had Nelly. Oh, don't even get me started with Nelly. Nelly was like Drake before Drake came. Like, he was light Drake. He was like diet Drake, and then Drake came. Like, I think there's a reason for that, but, you know, I'm not just gonna blame it all on colorism, but it is interesting how we have all these predominantly black rappers and the lighter skinned ones at the top of the streaming charts. Anyways, let me keep going before somebody get mad. So anyways, those are my 2 favorite tracks, and then my 3rd favorite track is They Don't Love It, because I love when rappers come out and they claim the throne. They don't just say, oh, I'm here and I'm glad to be here. Jack Harlow could easily say that with this being his 3rd studio album. But he's came out and said, no, I deserve to be here. And not only I deserve to be here, he gave us a bar saying, who is this at? It's probably the hardest bar on the whole album. He said, the hardest white boy since the one who rapped about vomit and sweaters. And hold the comments, because I promise you, I'm honestly better than whoever came to your head right then. And no, he didn't stop there. He kept going, ladies and gentlemen. This man said, they ain't cut from the same thread like him. They don't study doing work to get ahead like him. They don't toss around and turn in the bed like him. And then he went into the chorus saying, because they don't love it. If that's not a classic, I don't know what it is. I don't know what is. So those are my 3 favorite tracks from the album. In general, the whole album is just a lyrical exercise. That's why it's only 25 to 30 minutes long. It's not a long listen at all. You could probably breeze through it in like a session like of working out. But at the end of the day, Jack Harlow has bounced back with Jackman. And I'm not going to say I'm surprised, but for him coming with this high quality lyrics, also with a little bit of replay value, I have to say it's probably my favorite album of the year, because everything he was facing putting this out was a huge risk, because everybody could just said he gave us a rap album full of trash, corny bars, but everybody seems to enjoy it. And me personally, I love it when artists come out and try to claim the throne, because we have too many mumble rappers out here rhyming cat, hat, and bat, and doing outlandish stunts to get attention. I like when artists claim the throne, but they do it with lyrical quality instead of just mumbling and changing the size of their shirt. So, anyways, click my link tree in my bio and let me know on one of my social medias. What do you think about Jackman? What do you think about Jack Harlow and the Jackman album? And also, if you've given it a listen, what is your favorite track? All right. Let me see. What else? What else? We got the Drake. We should probably get into some beef. We getting into too much music and behind the scenes executive talk. Let's get into some ignorance. Let me see. Let me see if I can find some ignorance. We've talked about gaming a lot. Maybe we should get into a little bit of, I mean, we've talked about hip hop a lot. Maybe we should get into a little bit of gaming. Let me see. Shout out to the 7 people we have over at Wisdom right now. I see y'all rolling in. As always, if you have a perspective that you would like to get off your chest, you know, feel free to join in. As you know, that button to join as a guest is right there. I love different perspectives, you know, and whatever we're talking about. If you want to give your opinion, or if you want to say my opinion is trash, you know, and you give your opinion and you have valid points, then I'll respect it. As long as it's respectful, of course. You know what I mean? You can't be doing no disrespectful stuff out here. You know, can't go for that. So anyways, let's get into Koi and Lotto. I don't know if I've talked about them yet, but I think they're a pretty interesting duo. Let me take this, bring it over here. Okay, cool. I should be able to see Lotto in all her glory. You know what I'm saying? I can't say too much. You know, 21 Savage may be listening. You know, if he pull up though, best believe I see. I can't make that joke because it may be insensitive. But y'all know who I got on speed dial. Y'all know who I got on speed dial. That's all I'm gonna say. All right. Let me see. Let me see. What is that? Okay. I feel like I already talked about Coi Leray and Lotto, but maybe not. Did I already talk about them? I think I was talking about Coi Leray track. Yeah, I think I was talking about Coi Leray track. All right, cool. We just gonna get into the whole beef right now. Hold on, I'm trying to find the lyrics. I know the lyrics is somewhere. Ah, okay, here we go. Smoking on that gas, blunt big as Coi Leray. Huh. No, we're not starting like that. Hold on, give me a second. See if I can find this Lotto. Put it on the flow. Oh yeah, 1 minute in. Okay, yeah, let me make sure. Keep track of that. I'm trying to look at. Let me look at lyrics. Let me stop playing with Lotto and not. Let me start acting like I can recite her lyrics. Let me pull it up. You know, she a lyricist too. Lyricists need love too. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, all right. Let me find this. What you say? You said it's up. Put it on the flow. Going crazy. Anyways, smoking on the gas. Okay. Hmm. Oh, okay, here we go. Yeah. All right. Let's restart. All right, let's get it. Smoking on that gas, blunt big as Coil Ray. What? I can't say that word. Expletives said it's up, then put it on the flow. I done it all. Feel like shoddy low. Laughing to the bank. But this is not a joke. In parentheses, not a joke. Say she got a problem. Imaginary smoke. Expletive said it's up, then put it on the flow. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Beethoven, Shakespeare, I mean, even Mr. Kanye West himself couldn't write some lyrical bars like that. Lyrical venom, lyrical exercise, and all those start with a, well, most of those words start with an L. You know what else start with an L? Is the rapper who performed it, aka Lotto. Now we're getting into Coi Leray versus Lotto because for some reason everybody thought it was beef because Lotto put in her rap, which I feel like she was explicitly going at Nicki Minaj, but obviously not. As other people took offended with some of the lyrics she had, and one of them was "Smoking on that gas, blunt big as Coi Leray," and Coi Leray took offense because a hit dog holler, and she said, "Please do not." She said, "Quote, Lotto bye. Here you go, talking about my body. Please do not come on here and talk about nobody body." And she put that in all capital letters. She put body in all capital letters. Now, it's one thing with women beef as they know what buttons to push because they're a woman, right? They know what women are insecure about. And one of the things that's usually an insecurity for women is the body. You know, talk about the body in positive or a negative light, they're probably going to get offended with both. So Coi Leray got offended. She thought that Lotto was going at her. And then after Lotto, of course, hit her behind the scenes, you know, basically told her, explained, wasn't, you know, she was basically probably telling her that all that smoke was for Onika Tanya Mirage, aka Nikki, and that wasn't for her. She was just putting her in the line. And then obviously, because the song was public, she went on stage when she was booked at Coachella and performed the track. Let me see if I can find this. She went on stage and performed the track, and then she also said the line again, "Smoking on that gas, blunt big as Coi Leray. Expletives like to run their mouths, but I'm the type to run the fade." So they thought, you know, she performed that line at Coachella in the midst of the song, but then she stopped and then she said, let me find it. I don't know why I can't find it. Let me see. Yeah, I can't find it. That's crazy. I thought I had it. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah. She said on stage. Sorry, I had to find it for a second. And then she added, quote, and this wasn't in the song. She just added this in the live performance. She said, quote, by the way, I love your body, baby. Talking about Coi Leray. So of course it was like confusion from Coi because of course in a diss track with your name mentioned, you're gonna think it's Automatic Smoke. But Lotto did the mature thing, which was contacting Coi directly and apologize, well, not even apologizing, probably just explaining, and then went on a public platform and had the same type of sentiments. So there's no more beef between Coi Leray and Lotto, which I know is probably upsetting news to a lot of y'all. But I think at the end of the day, with women artists, they definitely do need to stick together because if they're going to rise up in the ranks, I think if they started a whole clique, just like how the male rappers have their cliques, how they have an album coming out with the same group of artists, is always Travis, Future, Drake, maybe 21 Savage. You know, it's always that clique of artists collabing on each other's albums. If the women rappers were to do that more often instead of just beefing with each other, which I'm not accusing them of doing that, I'm just saying, the two biggest women rappers in the game are beefing against each other. And I guess you could say the same with Drake and Kendrick, but for the most part, Drake gets along with all the other rappers in the game. And for Nicki, we unfortunately can't say the same. So let's just say that's going to take a lot for them when it comes to making a huge impact in hip hop, and beefing with one another will inherently stunt that growth. So anyways, I'm glad Koi and Lotto are not beefing anymore, but boy was it spooky at first, because I didn't know if Lotto was going for everybody or at a specific person, which was Nicki Minaj. Now for Nicki Minaj, best believe she's gonna return fire, and Lotto's going to feel it directly. So click my link tree in my bio. Let me know on one of my social medias. What do you think about Coi Leray and Lotto beefing? And do you think that if women artists stick together more, they would start selling more than male rappers? Okay. Shout out to the people we have over at Wisdom right now. I think we just crossed 12. Oh, 10. We just crossed 10. So I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Make sure to hit that follow button as I cover the latest hip hop and gaming news. And also click my link tree in my bio if you missed some of this portion of the stream. It will be uploaded after the fact to all my podcasting platforms. Notorious, Mass Effect. We just surpassed 38,000 downloads per episode. So that's just going well at this point. So I would definitely click my link tree in my bio, be linked to whatever platform you listen to podcasts on, to join the masses, you know? So anyways. All right. What next? Let's get into gaming. Gaming, and then should we end with gaming? Let's do AAA games. Let's do Star Wars. And then let's see, AAA games. Should we do Hollywood writers going on strike? I don't know why, but that was making huge news. I mean, it ain't shut down none of my favorite stuff. So I was like, okay, well, let's talk about AAA games, Star Wars, and then maybe Hollywood, and we can end with Megan Thee Stallion maybe versus her label. Actually, let's start with Nintendo. No, we gotta talk about this. This is funny right here. This is hilarious. All right, so we finna get into gaming right quick. Let's see, what does this look like? Okay, give me 1 second. Shout out to the people we do have live though. I really do appreciate y'all, you know. At a anything you could be doing this morning, you're listening to a guy cover the latest hip hop and gaming. So, you know, I definitely appreciate it. Okay, yeah, I should be able to see it over at YouTube and Kick. Let me see. Yeah, there we go. So you already know about the topic. It's about to be funny. Let me see if we pull this up right quick. All right, cool. All right. Now, after being released from prison, Nintendo hackers still has to pay a monthly income for hacking. Now, it begs the question, what is or what should be the punishment for gamers who go above and beyond to hack a game and in turn generate revenue for themselves? Where apparently Nintendo says they have the remedy for all of this blasphemy, as Gary Bowser, who was a Gary Bowser, who was a hacker of Nintendo products or Nintendo Switch, selling schemes for a Nintendo Switch. Oh, okay. Yeah, he was sentenced to 3 years in prison for his role in a Nintendo Switch hack selling scheme. And after serving his 3 years, so he just finished his 3 years, Gary Bowser would have to pay a portion of his future income to Nintendo as part of a $10 million settlement with the company. Now, whenever I think of somebody having to pay a percentage of his income for basically life, I automatically just assume he doesn't have that much money in the first place, as best believe Nintendo will probably take that in a large sum rather than taking a percentage. But if they don't have enough to their name to pay off the accused damages that they created, then of course you got to come up with some type of legality or some type of contract or system where he can at least not have as much as he could when he first started hacking. I don't know if that makes sense. Basically, when somebody doesn't have the money to pay up front, usually you come with some type of layaway plan, which I'm certain probably has a little interest tacked on. Which begs the question, what is the proper way to handle a hacker of a video game? I think the best way to handle hackers in video games is to, one, suspend them, like IP ban them. Because one thing about banning somebody, they could just make another account. So IP ban them for first, like that's the first strike. Second strike, it depends on how egregious the hack is. If it's just a simple, oh, you get to see through walls, or oh, you may be able to have aimbot, like, you know, you may be able to hit them with a fine, but to go to jail time, I think it has to be an explicit breach of a system, not just the game. I think it has to be a breach of the system, which they did say he was a part of a Nintendo Switch hack selling scheme. So I think it has to be a breach of a system, hacking it in a way that lets people get other things for free, which in turn will significantly decrease the revenue for Nintendo. So I don't think a regular game hack you should serve jail time for. I think you should just get fined and then that's it. Because if you keep doing it repeatedly, then you can just keep paying the fine. Like, you know, it's just pretty simple. But for jail time, I think it has to be explicit loss in funds from that company. Like you have to be able to pinpoint this person doing this is affecting this and this, which is losing us X amount of dollars. And then that person can go to jail if it exceeds a certain dollar amount. So yeah, that's my take on what we should do with gamers who hack. But I really don't think that whole hacking thing is as serious as people make it out to be. But obviously, I'm a console player. And I say obviously because the way I'm talking about this is pretty, you know, slap on the wrist type of approach. And people who play on PC probably have a way more aggressive tactic as far as dealing with hackers, because at the end of the day, nobody wants to be playing a game and run into somebody who's hacking and just kills them by 360 no scoping because they have aimbot. Like, nobody's trying to deal with that. So I understand why people are upset at hackers because they're taking away the fun from the game, but jail time is excessive, and even a fine may be excessive depending on how egregious the hack is. So anyways, I laid out how I would attack people who hack certain games and consoles, but click my link tree in my bio and let me know, what do you think is the best way to take care of gamers who hack? All right. Okay. Should we talk about AAA games? Let's see. We may have to get into the Hollywood writers later. Okay, let's get into this one. Take that down. Survivor Day 1 patch. It's kind of Star Wars and AAA. I just want to get into specific AAA stuff. These are a lot of links though. Shout out to the people tuning in for the live version. This is basically, you know, in the midst of my topics, this is the live edition. Me just talking while I bring up the next topic. Y'all want to talk about how the Warriors just threw game one? Ain't no way they supposed to be so invincible at home, and they lost while LeBron was playing like trash. I don't think it's a wrap. I initially said Lakers in 7 because I just thought everybody would protect their home court, and then I thought game 1 would have happened in game 7, but you know, I guess not. I guess it's flip flop. I could see Golden State going to Lakers and just taking a game, because who wouldn't want to play in Crypto Arena and drop 50? You know, like I don't really think it's gonna be a home advantage for either team, but that's just my expert analysis. You know, let's see. And plus, AD does not play like this every single game. Like he's probably gonna show up one game, feel like taking a 30-minute break because you know his pinky toe was hurting. You know, he doesn't play like this every game. Because if he did, the Lakers would be by far the favorites. The Warriors are no easy team to beat at home, and they made that look easy. Like if you look at the box score, it was a close game, a close final score. But if you watch the entire game, it really, like, Lakers are obviously the better team when AD plays like that. Anyways, all right. Let me see. Man, how many different Star Wars update? No, we're not doing updates. Let me see. Okay, AAA. Okay, so we have one. Man, how many? Bro, I gotta start putting links in, but I gotta start putting dots in between my stuff. Is that a different article? Let's see. Okay. Exploration on Mysterious. Okay. All right, cool. All right, let's get into it right. Hold on, let me put this up right quick. Okay. Okay, I should be able to see it now. Cool. Time to answer the question that comes up time and time again from avid gamers. Why does AAA games nowadays take so long to come out but feel so poorly optimized / incomplete? Now, this is a fantastic question because nowadays, when all of these games are coming out broken, unfinished, with the price tag of $70, you can understand why gamers are starting to get upset. Going from $60 to $70 just to give us a worse product would not sit right with anybody. Imagine Disney, Netflix raising the price of subscriptions, but then they was like, hey, for our future titles, they're going to be a little bit laggy. They may not work at times. Hey, our whole site may just crash altogether. You probably wouldn't enjoy the Netflix or Disney subscription, or you'll probably end up canceling it, which is what Xbox is facing right now. Because I've heard, and obviously I'm no insider, but you know, I do pay attention to the gaming industry. A lot of people are regretting buying an Xbox, especially with the release of Redfall. I think that's what the game was called, or Redfall. I think it's called Redfall. But basically, that game is a buggy mess, and it's exclusively to Xbox users. So I bring up this question to basically break down why certain games run the way they do on console compared to PC. Now, in turn, to put it in layman's terms, games are very, very complex to develop. Like, me just saying that doesn't do it justice. It's very, very hard to code a video game. Now, have I ever coded a video game? No, but I've watched documentaries. I've watched a plethora of videos. The type of just going through my Rolodex of just patterns that developers use to develop games. I mean, we're talking about thousands lines of code that ends up bringing like 10 to 20 million lines of codes, and you have less than like a tenth of that to create error, because the whole thing would just throw it away. And obviously the way I'm talking about it is very much from a perspective of somebody who's never coded before, but I do recognize the way it's kind of like watching a basketball player. Like, he practices, he shoots, he makes it, he misses, but you do know they practice and put in a lot of work to even get to that stage. Game developers, even when they release a buggy mess, probably took a lot of steps to build the game to what it is today, even if it's a mess. So if it's poorly optimized, what you have to look at is it's easier to make games and develop games on console versus PC. And I say easier is probably the worst word to use, but just know that developing a game for a console is consoles are a set piece of hardware. And if you develop games for a PC, there's so many different interchangeable parts for a PC when you're building it, and even after it's built. You can upgrade it by changing a certain part, and you could upgrade your graphics card. There's different rigs for your PC. You want it water cooled, or you want it a different type of. There's so many different ways to build a PC. There's only one set for console. So everybody has the same capabilities when it comes to console. You're working with a whole plethora of complex different combinations and experiments when you come to PC. Now, does that excuse people for asking for a $70 price tag off the bat if the game is broken? Of course not. But basically, I'm just saying it because it's harder to develop games for PC than it is for console, which is why we're seeing a lot of people just stray away from even announcing a PC release date if they're not even close to making the console release date stable. So anyways, it's rare to hear about a game 5 plus years away for that very reason. You don't want to put too much pressure on the developers into thinking they have to come up with a masterpiece in either 5 years or versus compared to less than 2 months. Like, both of those, depending on the size of the game, like if you're making a GTA, a Skyrim, a Witcher, it's going to take a while to develop. Obviously, if it's a sequel, you can use some previous assets that makes the process faster, but then your fan base is going to want different improvements, which is going to cause a whole new months of development to implement. So you can only put so many assets from the previous game until somebody's like, well, why are you asking for another $70 price tag, you know? Anyways, what else? There was something else I wanted to get into. I wonder if I found it. I think it was something else I had. Okay, so basically Cyberpunk 2077 is probably the best example I can give of a game being completely broken at launch. I mean, can't even, like, so bad Sony came out themselves, the company, and took the game off of the online PS store because it was just completely unplayable, and it was still up to purchase. Like, if a game's broken, you would think the publishers would take it down, but Sony doing their due diligence, because it was probably looking bad on them because everybody was asking for refunds. If you don't know, if you buy a digital copy, I'm pretty sure you can't get a refund after a certain amount of time. So Sony was running into a lot of problems because the game was literally unplayable. But basically, there's a different factors and variables. Devs push their games to certain benchmarks, but on other pieces of hardware, they have to lower the graphics, they have to lower the frame rate. That's why everybody's like, oh, you're playing on console, we know you're playing at 30 frames per second, versus PC, where you can probably push to the most intense graphics, which is like 60 frames per second and even more. So it's very different play style when it comes to console and PC. Usually PC is way more advanced even nowadays, which is goes back to the experimental part, where there's a lot of different interchangeable pieces. With consoles, a set piece of hardware, and that's why games at this point comes out unfinished, because with the evolution in technology, it gets even harder and harder to develop a game. Okay. I wonder if I had another point. I think that was basically my last point. I'm trying to make sure though, because I want everybody to like get a clear picture of why games are coming out broken. Because a lot of games are trying to go the open world route, and with that comes a lot of what they. If you ever looked up crunch time, explained by developers, you would probably get a good indication of how hard these game developers work to get a game out by the deadline. And let's say Respawn is the developers. Well, you have a publisher, which is EA Entertainment. If they give you a deadline, and let's say the game is 50% finished, where they're gonna tell you, well, no, this is how I've heard the conversation went. So basically, if a game's not finished and they want to put it out at a certain time, you ask for more time, and if they give you more time, they're gonna put some extra stipulations as far as the contract, and you lose some money. And then let's say you have to push it back even more. Well, it's gonna get to the point where you're gonna start. It's not gonna look as good, your contract, if you don't put it out in a certain deadline, because they want it at this time. So if you're pushing it back, well, guess what? They're lowering your contract because we paid you for this. You can't do it at this time. Okay, well now you can't. Well, it's like certain it's kind of like in the NBA. You make the first team all NBA, you get paid more. But let's say you don't even make the team no more. Guess what? You don't get paid at all. So obviously it's not that drastic, but you know, they lower your pay, if that makes sense. So at a certain point, they're like, hey, you want a product? Here, put this out. But they can't say it's not ready, because it's their job to make it ready. So imagine going to your boss at the deadline and be like, hey man, you can put this out to the public, but hey, that's kind of trash. Like, who's gonna say that, right? So they give it to them at the deadline, comes out broken, everybody's mad, and now you get stories like Redfall. So anyways, click my link tree in my bio. Let me know on one of my social medias. What do you think about the whole landscape of gaming and a lot of games coming out broken and unoptimized? And what do you think is the ultimate fix? All right, we got to Nintendo AAA games. Let's get into Hollywood writers. Okay, so let's do this. Let's get into Hollywood writers, and then let's end with Star Wars. Let's do that. I think that'll work. Let me see. Check the stream right quick. Make sure it's still going. We still looking good. Take a kick in YouTube. Appreciate y'all still rocking with me. Let me look over at Wisdom. See, we surpassed 13 over at Wisdom. I appreciate y'all for tuning in live to listen to me talk about the latest hip hop and gaming. As always, if you missed a portion of the stream, make sure to click my link tree in my bio to be linked to my podcast platforms, because this will go up on that after the fact. And it's more of the edited version, you know, taking out all the breaks and stuff. So make sure to follow my podcast platforms, because we just surpassed 38,000 downloads per week. So it's getting to the point where we have a pretty sizable supporting base. So I really feel like we have something special here. So if you want to join that, then the link tree will give you a direct link to it. All right, let's talk about Star Wars. Because for some people, this is also a buggy mess. So coming off of the AAA discussion, this would be easy to talk about as well. Let me see, another patch. All right, we're making a... this is the stat I was looking for. Okay. I'll put that up next time. I guess I could just use it for this segment. It kind of falls in line. All right, cool. Let's get into it right now. All of my Star Wars Jedi Survivor fans out there, just know that there are brighter days ahead. Because Respawn has took it upon themselves to put out new patches, one for PC, one for console, that aim to, quote, fix the performance and stability issues that remain the one substantial mark against an otherwise impressive sequel, end quote. Now that's very interesting because if you think about it, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, I put out a poll on my YouTube. Make sure to follow my YouTube at Analytic Dreams, Notorious Mass Effect. Shameless plug, of course. And they were saying that this game is almost perfect because the gameplay, the story, everything is phenomenal. But then we get into the performance. Frame rate is atrocious, crashes on PC. Basically, I'm not going to say unplayable, that's a little stretch, but it's not an enjoyable experience on PC for what I've heard from a plethora of PC players. And I've heard that the Xbox version crashes sometimes. I've never had, personally, I'm playing the game. If you, another shameless plug, man, I'm throwing them out today. Analytic Dreams, Notorious Mass Effect on my, I already said my YouTube. But basically, if you go to the playlist tab, if you go to streams, you will see my Star Wars gameplay walkthrough. And also, if you listen to this after the fact and you're on Spotify, I have the exclusive Spotify video gameplay walkthrough. If you type in Analytic Dreams video, so you don't even have to leave the platform you're on, you can watch my gameplay walkthrough on Spotify as well. Analytic Dreams video. Just type that in and it should pop up. Anyways, so yeah. The game definitely had issues at launch, especially on PC, really on PC. Like a lot of people was literally saying don't buy the game because it was just that bad. PS5, Xbox not as bad, but definitely had some issues as far as frame rate and just performance in general. It's like including bugs. I think the game did end. No, not end. I already said that. Okay, yeah, the game did crash for some Xbox users, but I didn't really see too much of complaints from the console side. So these fixes actually make the game run better from what I've been told. I haven't played the game. I played the game, but I haven't played the game after the patch because it literally just came out. So Respawn put out a whole PR statement saying today's patch has become available for the PC version of Jedi Survivor, and we'll be issuing a patch for PlayStation and Xbox Series X. We are hard at work on patches that will further improve performance and fix bugs across all platforms. Now that sounds like a promise. So hopefully this makes it run better. From what I've been told, it definitely, you can actually see improvements from the game, and it fixes a lot of bugs across all platforms. So it's already promising because this week of content that I'm assuming is going to come from Respawn, because you already know they have a PR game plan rolled out because this is probably one of the biggest games of the year. Before you know what comes out, because Spider-Man PS5 is going to be a whole nother beef. It's going to be a whole nother beast in itself. So yeah. What else? Something. Oh, also I wanted to touch on something because I know I covered why AAA games are coming out all unoptimized and stuff, and people are like all upset with the raise in price from $60 to $70 when these games are still a buggy mess and basically unplayable sometimes on PC. I wanted to break it down in AAA segment, but I think I kind of did, but I forgot to put in this quote. So this quote still pertains to the subject because we're talking about unoptimized games coming out, and it's kind of answering the question on why there's more and more AAA game being released recently. And somebody who's a game developer came out and said when making a game for a console, and it's kind of what I said, but in a much simpler way that everybody can understand. So anyways, the game developers came out and said, when making the game for a console, you're making it for one set of drivers slash hardware. When making a game for PC, you're making 900 plus possible combinations. So console, you're developing a game for one set of drivers slash hardware. For PC, you're making it for, and he said like, so it's not even the exact number, 900 plus possible combinations. And he said, I promise you it's not laziness. It's just really, really, really difficult. And I second that statement because a lot of people think games are just made magically and they just come out. Like, bro, if you really knew the development process of these video games, I always said I enjoy video games, but the last job I would take in the gaming industry would be a game dev, because it's just so much. You need to have certain skills for it. You have to be willing to give up certain free time, because it's a lot of crunching in the development industry. And obviously more developers are starting to push back against developers or publishers giving them strict deadlines, which is in turn makes them crunch. So by the way, crunch means like when you basically go overtime to finish a game for a deadline. So sometimes publishers give unrealistic deadlines, so it makes the crunch even more extensive. So, and that's not good. You know, people want to see their family, kids, wife, husband. You know, all of these game developers have lives on their own, and sometimes when they're developing these games, publishers forget that. So I'm glad to see that Star Wars is getting a patch, but also I just want to put it in perspective that these game developers are working hard. Even if a game comes out a buggy mess, you never know the hours that they put in to even get it to that state for the deadline. So anyways, click my link tree in my bio. Let me know on one of my social medias. What do you think about this whole AAA game catastrophe with most of these games coming out unfinished and in a buggy mess? And also, do you think that this is a sign for better things to come for Jedi Survivor, or do you think the writing on is already, no, that's not how he said. Do you think it's set in stone with the amount of bugs that was happening at launch? I don't think that was the best way I could have ended off that segment. I could have said something else. But anyways, well, it's already done now. All right, let's finish with dang, I was gonna finish with Star Wars. Well, I guess we didn't get in Hollywood today, but that's okay. All right, how long do I think that was? Probably like an hour 10, hour 20 episode, maybe. I don't know. Okay, yeah, we can end with that. That's cool. Oh, I gotta get my outro though. Let me chill. Let me look at this right quick. Okay. See if I can find this. Okay. Getting into the overview of the pod for episode 121, we started off talking about Jack Harlow and his album, and him returning for his third studio album and bouncing back from his sophomore slump that we ultimately thought meant he was washed up. But with this album called Jackman, he definitely came back with what I think is one of his best projects to date. Then we got into a lot of, definitely messed it up. Hold up. Okay, now I gotta take that off because we did not start with that. We started with Drake. Let me see. Yeah, we definitely started with Drake. Let me see if I can find this. Make sure to delete that. Okay, cool. Getting into the overview of the pod for episode 121, we started off with the rise of the AI Ghostwriters, because boy, are they rising in let's just say the revolution may or may not be televised, because Universal Music Group is out for blood as they see all this revenue being created from the likeness of an artist they signed, but it isn't going to them. And then we went into Jack Harlow returning with his third studio album with a very interesting comeback, because a lot of people just said that he was washed up, but he came back and bounced back from his sophomore slump with what I'm thinking is probably his best album to date. Then we got into the Coi Leray versus Lotto beef, and I kind of broke that whole situation down, talked about how in general both of those artists are not really in the space to beef with one another. So I'm glad that this got settled, because it really makes no sense for these artists to beef, and so I'm glad that they squashed it. Then we transition into Nintendo hacker Bowser basically being sent to prison for 3 years, coming out of prison, and him having to give a portion of his proceeds forever to Nintendo, like a portion, a percentage of his lifetime earnings to Nintendo. So whatever he makes, some of that's going to go to Nintendo. So I guess Nintendo gave a whole new meaning to Uncle Sam, because even though I think the China-based company, they're still coming in with that tax added on to the final revenue stream for Bowser. And it's funny, the hacker's name is Bowser. He must really be a Nintendo fan. He just went a little bit too far with helping out the Nintendo player base. Then we transition into Star Wars Jedi Survivor, and I kind of got into Then we got into AAA games, and sorry, I was looking at the wrong article. Then we got to AAA games and why it's not running as well nowadays compared to in the past. I talked about the evolution of technology, the difference of developing a game for console versus PC, and why we should give more leeway to developers, because they do go through a lot and have to do a lot to get a game out at a certain time, and I don't think people really put that into perspective. Then we transition into Star Wars, which is probably the talk of the town right now, as it's one of the best games of 2023, but the performance issues are glaring, and I kind of explain that whole situation and how people are feeling about it. But one thing is for certain, Respawn has taken action and put out a patch to improve performance, so we're going to see how that ends up going in the long run. So that's about it for episode 121. Thank you for listening to me struggle through that recap. Usually, I told you I change the format of my episode. I try to get through as many topics as I can before I want to end the episode. So whenever I'm recapping it, I don't really have like a list of it. I just have to go like through my history, and sometimes the articles throw me off. So I appreciate y'all for bearing with me with that. And also, before I give my conclusion, I just want to say I really appreciate y'all for supporting. I know y'all get tired of me saying that over and over, but I really do. Approaching 38,000 as far as weekly downloads, it's not an easy feat by any stretch of the imagination. Obviously, you have the Joe Rogans out here getting like, I don't know, 600,000 in a day. But, you got to start somewhere, and I could start at zero, like it could be zero a week, could be 100 a week, 200, not really trying to disrespect nobody, just saying that it could be less. And I definitely understand how much 38,000 is, and let me tell you, I am working every single day to make this a better and much improved product for the next time you come and listen. So that's about it for episode 121. Thanks for tuning in to the Notorious Mass Effect podcast. And don't be afraid to send me an email letting me know what you think of the show and what you want me to talk about in the next episode. Click my Linktree in my bio to access my social medias and to keep up with my latest activities. If you want to support the show financially, click my Cash App link located towards the top of my Linktree, as it helps the show overall. Make sure to share this podcast and rate this 5 stars or whatever platform you're currently listening on. as this helps the show reach more people so we can grow together and affect the masses. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Notorious Mass Effect. Alrighty, I think I recorded everything but the intros. I think if I just record an intro, I'll be good to go. Cause I definitely want to get this out probably tomorrow. Cause I want to pair this with the video, and I want to promote that as well. I want to promote them all in like one tweet. So, anyways, that's about it for this. I'm definitely gonna be back. Hopefully, no, I'm gonna be back. Okay, yes, cause I'm a play Star Wars Jedi Survivor, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make sure to record the intro first because I want to record it and have it exporting while I'm streaming. So what else? So yeah, I mean, you already heard my outro. My outro usually has everything as far as my promotions and ads and stuff. So yeah, the biggest thing you need to know is if you want to stay connected to the masses, click that link tree in my bio and it links you to whatever you need: social medias, podcast platforms, everything. And as always, this is going to come out after the fact on my podcast platforms. It's just a live rendition of it. When it comes out on my podcast platforms, it'll be edited in a smoother listening experience. But I appreciate you bearing with me. Let's go over the platforms. Appreciate that 14 people we have over at Wisdom. Let me see, the people we have over at YouTube and Kick. I appreciate y'all. And until next time, I say until next time, until later this morning, I'm out.